Chapter 15. Now, the Israelites have just been told by the Lord, okay, because of your unbelief, you are not allowed to enter into the promised land. And it's going to be at this point for 38 years. The almost 2 years before this counts as part of the 40. So 40 years total. And your sons and your daughters, they will be the ones in whom will go in, along with some of the others. But this is dealing with a lot of the laws and provisions for when they enter into the promised land. And this is just a reminder, you will, as a people, enter into the promised land. But we're not going to go over many of these sacrifices because in the book of Leviticus, and we're also going to be seeing this, I believe it's in chapter 18 as well. In the book of Leviticus, it really lays all of these sacrifices out. The only ones that I'm going to be going over that deal with these sacrifices are the red heifer in chapter 19, I believe, because that particular sacrifice of purification is only dealt with in the book of Numbers. But we'll come to all of that. In this one, I'm just going to give a brief summary of this chapter, and we're going to pick up in verse 32, I believe, somewhere around in verse 32. The Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel. Some infer from Numbers 15:23 of this very chapter that the date of this communication must be fixed towards the close of the wanderings in the wilderness, and also that all the sacrifices prescribed in the law were to be offered only after the settlement in Canaan. Now, that's just a theory. This could have very well have been immediately after the Lord told them, you're not going to enter. Let's quickly go over the verses leading up to verse 32. Ye shall have one law for him that sinneth through ignorance, both for him that is born among the children of Israel, and for the stranger that sojourneth among them. So there is a sin unto ignorance. But the soul that doeth aught presumptuously, whether he be born in the land or a stranger, one that knows that he's sinning and still does it, the same reproacheth the Lord, and that soul shall be cut off from among his people. Because he hath despised the word of the Lord, and hath broken his commandment, that soul shall be utterly be cut off, his iniquity shall be upon him. Now notice what it says, because he hath despised the word of the Lord. Think it no coincidence, my friends, that immediately following that verse comes up one of the more known instances in the Old Testament, verse 32. And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man that gathered sticks upon the Sabbath day. Now he's doing this presumptuously, meaning he knows, he has been told, this is a known thing, do not do this on the Sabbath day, yet he's doing it. This seems to be mentioned here, right after the previous verses, this seems to be mentioned here as an instance of sinning presumptuously. The law of the Sabbath was plain and positive, and this transgression of it must therefore have been a known and willful sin. This man knew it. And from the connection of this verse with the former, it may be justly inferred that this man had sinned with a high hand, despising the word of the Lord and the authority of his law. He did this rather to spite the Lord. And the reason for the emphasis that I'm giving to this is because it'll help to understand why he is punished, why these events that follow actually occur, the reason behind them. Verse 33. And they that found him gathering sticks brought him unto Moses and Aaron, and unto all the congregation, and they put him in ward, because it was not declared what should be done to him. And the Lord said unto Moses, The man shall be surely put to death. All the congregation shall stone him with stones without the camp, meaning outside the camp. Take him away from the people, and have everyone stone him. And this does harken back to what is known as the law of first examples, how God wants to make an example out of the very first offenders or whatever happens in the case of someone breaking his laws. That way the others would fear doing it. Judges do this today on the bench. They'll make an example of whoever. But notice how in the New Testament they accuse Christ of breaking the Sabbath, and they don't stone him for it. And all the congregation brought him outside the camp and stoned him with stones, and he died as the Lord commanded Moses. Now, so many would read this story and they take it immediately as, well, now that's really extreme. Why do that? He's just picking up sticks. Well, once again, this mention of despising the Lord, this man knew clearly not to do what he was doing. So this kind of puts the probable character of the man in one's mind. We have people like this today in whom they openly mock God. If they say don't do something, they immediately go and do it just in spite of God and his followers, his children. And also notice in verses 29 and 30 how it's speaking of a man in whom does something ignorantly without knowing it, and how that person is given leeway to be excused for such an act. Well, the Lord knew that this man was doing this intentionally. That's the reason why he's put to death. Verse 37, And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a riband of blue. I like David Guzik's comments on this. These were intended to remind Israel to whom they belonged. They were God's people. Such reminders are an effective preventive remedy for sin. But why the color blue? Perhaps a blue thread was commanded because the Ark of the Covenant was covered with a blue cloth. Blue curtains adorned the tabernacle, and blue was in the high priest's garments. The color blue was full of holy reminders. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord, and do them. And that ye seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which ye used to go a-whoring, after idols, and worship other gods. That ye may remember and do all my commandments, and be holy unto your God. I am the Lord your God, which brought you out of the land of Egypt, to be your God. I am the Lord your God. Now, we do see a very similar thing in Christian culture today. Christian-themed clothing and jewelry and such can indeed serve a purpose. Many of my friends wear crosses and I have Jesus shirts. But these can be used to serve a purpose, even as a reminder. Such things can remind us of who we are and provide a kind of walking accountability for our conduct. It can also be abused in the same self-righteous, hypocritical manner. You see so many priests and others adorned with these elegant clothings and these relics or whatever. And it's a lot of times just to build them up, much like the Pharisees of old.
Chapter 15. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When ye be come into the land of your habitations, which I give unto you, and will make an offering by fire unto the Lord, a burnt offering, or a sacrifice in performing a vow, or in a freewill offering, or in your solemn feasts, to make a sweet savour unto the Lord, of the herd or of the flock, then shall he that offereth his offering unto the Lord bring a meat offering of 1/10 deal of flour, mingled with the 4th part of an hin of oil, and the 4th part of an hin of wine. For a drink offering shalt thou prepare with the burnt offering or sacrifice for 1 lamb. Or for a ram thou shalt prepare for a meat offering 2/10 deals of flour, mingled with the 3rd part of an hin of oil. And for a drink offering thou shalt offer the 3rd part of an hin of wine, for a sweet savour unto the Lord. And when thou preparest a bullock for a burnt offering, or for a sacrifice in performing a vow, or peace offerings unto the Lord, then shall he bring with a bullock a meat offering of 3/10 deals of flour, mingled with half an hin of oil. And thou shalt bring for a drink offering half an hin of wine, for an offering made by fire, of a sweet savour unto the Lord. Thus shall it be done for 1 bullock, or for 1 ram, or for a lamb, or a kid. According to the number that ye shall prepare, so shall ye do to every one according to their number. All that are born of the country shall do these things after this manner, in offering an offering made by fire, of a sweet savour unto the Lord. And if a stranger sojourn with you, or whosoever be among you in your generations, and will offer an offering made by fire, of a sweet savour unto the Lord, as ye do, so he shall do. 1 ordinance shall be both for you of the congregation, and also for the stranger that sojourneth with you, an ordinance for ever in your generations. As ye are, so shall the stranger be before the Lord. 1 law and 1 manna shall be for you, and for the stranger that sojourneth with you. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When ye come into the land whither I bring you, then it shall be that, when ye eat of the bread of the land, ye shall offer up an heave offering unto the Lord. Ye shall offer up a cake of the first of your dough for an heave offering. As ye do the heave offering of the threshing floor, so shall ye heave it. Of the first of your dough ye shall give unto the Lord an heave offering in your generations. And if ye have erred, and not observed all these commandments which the Lord hath spoken unto Moses, even all that the Lord hath commanded you by the hand of Moses, from the day that the Lord commanded Moses, and henceforward among your generations, then it shall be, if aught be committed by ignorance without the knowledge of the congregation, that all the congregation shall offer 1 young bullock for a burnt offering, for a sweet savour unto the Lord, with his meat offering and his drink offering according to the manner, and 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for all the congregation of the children of Israel, and it shall be forgiven them, for it is ignorance. And they shall bring their offering, a sacrifice made by fire unto the Lord, and their sin offering before the Lord, for their ignorance. And it shall be forgiven all the congregation of the children of Israel, and the stranger that sojourneth among them, seeing all the people were in ignorance. And if any soul sin through ignorance, then he shall bring a she-goat of the first year for a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for the soul that sinneth ignorantly, when he sinneth by ignorance before the Lord, to make an atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven him. Ye shall have 1 law for him that sinneth through ignorance, both for him that is born among the children of Israel, and for the stranger that sojourneth among them. But the soul that doeth aught presumptuously, whether he be born in the land or a stranger, the same reproacheth the Lord, and that soul shall be cut off from among his people. Because he hath despised the word of the Lord, and hath broken his commandment, that soul shall utterly be cut off, his iniquity shall be upon him. And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man that gathered sticks upon the Sabbath day. And they that found him gathering sticks brought him unto Moses and Aaron, and unto all the congregation. And they put him in ward, because it was not declared what should be done to him. And the Lord said unto Moses, The man shall be surely put to death. All the congregation shall stone him with stones without the camp. And all the congregation brought him without the camp, and stoned him with stones, and he died, as the Lord commanded Moses. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a riband of blue. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it, and remember all the commandments of the Lord, and do them, and that ye seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which ye used to go a-whoring, that ye may remember, and do all my commandments, and be holy unto your God. I am the Lord your God, which brought you out of the land of Egypt, to be your God. I am the Lord your God.